What's going on, everybody? It's Dark Strider, and we are doing a side-by-side comparison of Double Dragon. We have the NES version, the Nintendo Entertainment System version, up against the Master System version, and the Nintendo is on the left, Sega is on the right, and we're just going to see which one was closer to the arcade, which one was closer to like which one looked better, which one had more colors. Right away you see on the right side the Sega Master System really has the best colors, and it also has the closer to the arcade feel, which is pretty wild. So now what we're going to do is just take a look at it. Honestly, on the left, the Nintendo one, it did have more value as far as like replayability and whatnot, but everything else was definitely in the Sega column. I do believe the Sega column, or the Sega game, was actually shorter as well because it was so much closer to the actual arcade. And I apologize for all the black above and below the screens there, but we're doing this so that way it actually fits and we could see the whole thing. And I think it's kind of cool. We did do this with the Star Wars games. We had Star Wars, I want to say the Nintendo game, the Nintendo version, and then we had Star Wars, the Game Boy version. And basically I did that comparison just to see if like they were anything alike, if they were even remotely close and whatnot. And they pretty much were, if I'm being honest. They pretty much were very close. The Game Boy version was actually easier. And I do know that they have Double Dragon for the Game Boy as well. So maybe we'll also play that. And, maybe we'll do another comparison. We'll see. We'll see what we've got going on there. But I want to say that as far as this goes, I think it's a lot of fun. Definitely check out my other channel. I have a link in the description below to Dark Retro. Dark Retro is actually where I'm going to be playing a lot of these older games. Everything from like the original Atari 2600 all the way to what's going on now. Like right before the PlayStation era, the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. I think at this point we could even call PS4 retro. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a survey on that. Maybe we'll figure out whether or not that is. But like I said, this was done just out of fun, out of curiosity, and to show you guys the differences between the two. Everything so far, like I said, the Sega Master System really is the winner here. Not only that, but like had I had somebody else joining me, it's 2-player, so we could have played at the same time. Whereas on Nintendo, it was 1-player, and that was it. There was no ability to play a 2-player, except they did have the Nintendo version did have a 2-player sort of like Street Fighter kind of thing, where you could pick any of the characters and play as them and basically do like a battle amongst yourselves for the two of them. So you could pick Billy Lee and Jimmy Lee and fight each other, or you could pick a Chintai and a Williams or anything like that. In fact, maybe I'll show that off at one point. Maybe we'll showcase that, because that was also a lot of fun. But this is just what they did on the Nintendo. I don't know why, if they could have done that, why didn't they also just make it so that way you could play 2-player simultaneously in the campaign? That I don't know. But anyway, still, a lot of fun for a beat 'em up. It is pretty cool. Another difference that you'll notice is that in the Nintendo version, right below the health bar, there are hearts. And the hearts represent your quote-unquote level. So you have to hit a certain level if you have any hopes to actually go and learn a new move or a new move set. In the Sega version on the right-hand side, you can see they have no such thing. They only have the health meter up top, and basically what you do is you have all the moves. You just have to go and like utilize them. The Nintendo version also had not just like you had to level up and learn new move sets. They also had it to where you had to go and actually you had different move sets. You had extra moves that you don't see on the Sega Master System, which again also kind of cool. It just gives you that difference. By the way, you're hearing the theme to Double Dragon looping because rather than have rather than have both of these going at the same time and like just wrecking your brain because you're hearing two different musics and two different sound effects going off at the same time, I decided just to have the Double Dragon theme just constantly playing so that way it's just easier on us all. Your brain isn't going to turn to jello. You can concentrate on my soothing voice, and as you're listening to me talk, you could also watch the game and hear just one of the most badass theme songs to a game ever. So I hope you're not mad at it. Again, as you can see, we're in level 2. We're in the industrial level, and you see a whole lot of differences between the two. Clearly, the Sega Master System version is closer to the arcade than the Nintendo version. And again, not mad at it. Not mad at it at all. I'm already in the forest as far as the Nintendo version goes, so I'm already at the level 3. Meanwhile, in the Sega version, I am still in level 2. However, do not let that freak you out, because honestly, level 3 is the longest level in Double Dragon in the the Nintendo version. The Sega Master System version, they're completely different. It's just a straight shot. There's no, secret areas. There's no looping around. If you watched my coverage yesterday or my video yesterday on Throwback Thursday of the Nintendo version of Double Dragon, I let you guys know that it's starting with this level, the third level, the forest level. Billy can go and continuously loop around the level repeatedly to the point that, you just die from time loss. You would just constantly be looping around in circles if you don't know exactly which way to go. And it becomes a real pain in the butt when you're just trying to get out and get through this game. It's absolutely insane. So keep that in mind. They have a different kind of way of doing Double Dragon than the Sega Master System did. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. It kind of keeps it fresh, if I'm being honest. It was annoying though, because, you had to know exactly where to go and how to work the loop. They don't give you any clues or anything. You just have to go. Alright, so as you see right now, on the right-hand side, the Sega Master System, I have just caught up to the forest on the Nintendo version. And it's going to be a straight shot here. There's no cave system. There is no other things that you've got to do. You'll go to like a mountainous area, but it's not, like super bad or anything like that. It's not a pain. And it makes a lot of sense for like the area that it's in. The Nintendo version really didn't make a lot of sense for the area that it was in because, out of nowhere you've got this cave system where, okay, it's got mountains. That would make sense. But inside the mountains leads to like another area, and that's where you find the actual gang that took Marion. So it again, really weird the way that they did this. Very strange. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what you prefer. And honestly, again, like I said, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, go check out Dark Retro where all of these can be found. I am trying to get more subs over there. I'm trying to get more views over there. And, you know, again, it's a lot of older games, a lot of old school games that you may remember, that you may not remember, that you want to explore how we got to where the roots of certain games that you know and love are and were. You know, like it's also got like just a bunch of like really cool stuff. So definitely give that a check out. And, you know, we'll continue on here. So we've got Double Dragon going. We've got this whole crazy thing happening where we're both in the area of the forest, and the forest is actually pretty wild as far as this all goes. Nintendo went one way with it, Sega went a totally different way with it, and we're about to see, you know, like what goes where. So now I'm actually going to be going into the caves in the Nintendo version. And again, this was a pretty wild area because it's not something that they actually had in the arcade version. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So again, in the Sega version, we're just going and doing our regular thing. We're going through this whole, you know, just the forest. We're in the mountains here now on the Nintendo, and I hate these stalactites that just fall from the sky. Those are annoying as hell. These are like the most annoying part of this game. So here we go. We're gonna go through these stalactites and basically, again, run through a maze, which is what these caves are. They're an entire maze. And then we're gonna, you know, like come out to like the I guess the hideout of this gang, which was really weird that the gang was in a hideout at all. You know, like in the mountains. Like the way that they have this set up is kind of crazy. There's an outdoor area which is unexplained as well. I don't know how we ended up outside with like the moon and everything. You'll see what I'm talking about. Really weird. But here we go. Meanwhile, on the Sega, we're still in the middle of, you know, like the forest itself. And we'll get to like an area where there is a kind of like an industrial sort of area in the Sega version, which is kind of cool because it has, you know, it explains that this is where the enemy base is. You know, so we'll check this out. We'll get through it. See what ends up happening. Again, it is a lot of fun. It is very kind of weird at the same time, like how they did this. So we'll go through it. Meanwhile, on the Nintendo, we're now going through all these caves. There's an entire cave system somehow. And, you know, we'll just keep going through here. Very strange the way that they did this, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. Let's see if I can get through here very quickly. The caves, again, it has this whole thing where you had to go through the caves, you had to go through this system, and you had to make sure that as you were going through the caves, you went the correct way because these caves, they had like I say, it's an entire system, but the system is so crazy that like if you don't know which way to go, you could make a wrong turn, you could go somewhere incorrect, and you could end up with like a problem. So, you know, this is one of those things. It's kind of wild. We'll get through it though. I remember, you know, going through this and I hated it because it was, there were so many things that you had to remember, so many areas for this cave system that had to be memorized in order to like get through it with no problem in one shot. And we're going through it. Meanwhile, on the other side, on the Sega side, we are still going through the mountain area of the forest, which I think is kind of cool. Again, I believe this one is closer to the arcade than the Nintendo version. The Nintendo version sold insane amounts just because it was so popular, because Nintendo was definitely popular at the time. It was in every household. But as you can see, the Sega has way more colors. It has way more colors. Alright, let's give this guy a beat down on the left. And we're going to go in through that tunnel system. And we're going to come out all right on the other side. Meanwhile, in the Sega version, we are battling these two Abobos and hoping that we don't run out of continues as we take them out. So here we are, we go through the cave again in the Nintendo version on the left, and we end up on this mountain that's outside, unless it's the other side of the mountain itself, and then somehow the enemy base is inside the mountain again. Like, I don't know, they did this whole thing to make it really difficult to, like, get through purposely. I mean, I could kind of see it. And it just looks pretty wild, so we'll go through it. And again, meanwhile, on the Sega version, we are still on our way through the forest area. Not that that's bad. I'm not, crapping on Sega right now. I'm just saying that, like, again, I believe it's closer to the arcade. Meanwhile, here we are with Nintendo on the left. We're defeating a couple of these Lindas. We're getting rid of them. And once we get rid of them, we should be able to reach our goal. We should be able to reach the Inner Sanctum, where we will find Marion, and we will battle all of the big bads. So look at that, already on mission 4 on the Nintendo version. And let's see where this takes us. We'll see. Alright, so this area on the left is going to be the same in the Sega Master System, except they don't have it go as long as it goes. And again, this is another spot where you're gonna see, like, a lot of, I want to say a lot of just confusion, because you have to again go a certain pattern, a certain way through this area, otherwise it just constantly loops. And that was the problem. The constant looping was just insane. If you didn't know the way to go, you would end up continuously going through this loop. And it would be problematic, trust me. So we're going to go through here. I'll show you the loop. I'll show you how we get through it. And on the Sega, we are still going through it. We're still going through the forest. We're not even in the Inner Sanctum of the boss's lair. But on Nintendo, we are. And here we go. We're gonna continue fighting these Chintai, these guys. Meanwhile, I think we're almost into the Inner Sanctum as far as Sega goes. Because I know we do have to defeat these guys. These Abobos, I believe, are the last guys. Now you see there, on the left-hand side, I had to climb that rock wall. Had I not climbed that rock wall, we would be looping again from the beginning. It's so weird that it loops like that, but that's how they did it. That's how they wanted to make it, so that I guess you constantly were getting, like, more bang for your buck, so to say. So that way you were able to get what you needed here. You were able to really get out and have some replay value. So here we are on the right-hand side, the Sega Master System. We've actually made it. We are in the Inner Sanctum, and as you can see, there's what I was talking about, the bricks that are kind of similar. And we'll see what else this does here. Meanwhile, Nintendo, now we're like outside. We're just not inside. We're climbing around the outside now. There's all these like extra things that we have to do. in order to get through. Sega, no. Sega, it just let us go through. Gotta fight all these enemies now. Here we go, Sega. Here go these Abobos. They're inside, not outside. But we're not gonna end up going and doing anything extraneous here. Now, on the Sega side, the right side, I told you guys on the Nintendo version that when you get to the fourth area on the Sega version, what ends up happening is that the last area, you no longer have continues. You're out of continues and you need to actually go and, you know, do it all in one take. Unless, as soon as you get in there, you stay perfectly still and you just do like a bunch of like jumping snap kicks over and over again. You do like, it's anywhere from 20 to 40, I believe. And then you get like unlimited continues. You get to like continue doing what you want to do. You get to continue battling these guys. And you have no problems from there on. You have infinite continues. And you're going to need it. And meanwhile, here we are on the Nintendo. We're still not in the final boss. Which is wild to me. It's wild and it's not. Because, again, Nintendo added all these extras into it just to make it, you know, like more replayable. They did add a kind of two-player Street Fighter kind of thing, except you don't have special moves in that. You just actually fight. That's all it is. It's just you fighting. There's no, you know, like secret moves. There's no fireballs you could throw or anything like that. Okay, so now, just so that you know, just for reference, the area that we are on the left-hand side, on the Nintendo side, we just made it to where the Sega version is right now. We are finally there. Believe it or not. So we're going to get to the end, and we're going to get to like this battle. We're going to get to the final boss, the Machine Gun Willie. And you're going to notice the endings have different versions there as well. So here we go. We're already at the end. And we are going to battle against the Abobos. And then little by little we start getting all these other characters that pop out. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes down here. It gets very interesting. I'm still fighting the Abobos on the Sega Master System. I want to tell you, Sega Master System version was harder. They really made you work for it. I'm not going to lie. And I appreciate that. So now, in the Sega Master version on the right-hand side, we are where they are on the left-hand side on the Nintendo version. Except, if you notice, all the characters come out all at once. And in the Nintendo version, they come out 2 at a time. So let's see what goes down now. We're still battling here. We're taking these guys out. The other wild thing is that if you look on the right-hand side, if you look at the Sega Master System version, you'll see Machine Gun Willie come out. You see him in the window there, which I thought was funny. I actually found that to be humorous. So let's see. We got this going. We're still battling here. Sega is really putting up a fight. The Nintendo version, we're almost where we gotta be. We're almost to defeating this guy. Machine Gun Willie is already out and we're beating him up. Sega, he's about to come out. He'll make an appearance very soon. Let's take a look. Yeah, Machine Gun Willie, you're going down, bro. I don't know who didn't tell you, but you're going down. And Sega, we're still battling the minions, which is okay. Machine Gun Willie getting his stuff rocked on the Nintendo version, left-hand side. And Now we fight Jimmy Lee on the Nintendo version. What a pain. What a pain. We're still battling the bad guys in Machine Gun Willie's crew in the Sega Master System version on the right-hand side. Let's see what happens. Let's see who finishes first. Let's see if we've defeated on the Nintendo or the Sega. Let's take a look. So they are really rocking me here in the Sega Master System. Which again, as I said, it's normal. Here, you see Machine Gun Willie on the right-hand side? He just came through the door. There we go. So now we'll take him out. And in this case, I thought that you had to take the chin ties out as well. You honestly don't. You don't have to take them out. You only have to take out Machine Gun Willie, and then you don't even have to fight the chin ties. The chin ties actually go off the screen, and they leave you alone. And that's it. You end up winning the whole thing. Let's see what they make us do for like the Nintendo version. Nintendo had a whole different thing. Like I said, you had to actually defeat the you had to defeat Billy Lee. In the Sega Master System, you're not going to defeat Billy Lee. You're just going to go and do your thing here, which is pretty wild. And once you defeat Machine Gun Willie, that's it. The game's over. Nintendo, you have to defeat Billy Lee. Let's see, we're almost there. We're almost there. On both sides. Okay, so we defeated Machine Gun Willie on the right-hand side, which is Sega Master System. And I thought, no BS, I thought that you had to defeat these Chintai, but these guys are actually on their way out. They're actually trying to get away. They're trying to leave. They want no part of it. They want no more. No mas, they say. And there you go. You end up defeating the game, and the girl comes out, and that's it. The Sega version is done. Meanwhile, we're still playing the Nintendo version. Now, I don't know if they're the same length. I don't know if one's longer than the other because of the all the deaths that I did, because I had to really play this game. I had to really work at it. But that's it. There's Sega. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you guys all in the next one. And please, by all means, go check out Dark Retro. The link is in the description below. Thank you.